So you've been dieting, you've been really good, and you think you deserve a cheat meal. But how often can you have a cheat meal and still maintain your results? Oh, don't worry, I'll tell you. Hi guys, Certified Nutrition Coach Samantha Souza here, and I help teach people how to end the cycle of yo-yo dieting for good. And today we're going to be talking all about cheat meals and how often you can implement them and still maintain your results. This is the second video in a cheat meal series that I'm doing. If you haven't watched my first one, please go either bookmark it, save it, open up a new page, and watch that one either right before or right after this. I don't care, you do you. You pick the order, but go back and watch that one. It talks a lot about the importance of the phrasing we use around the term cheat meals, which if you've watched that video, you know that I like to call, and I have my clients call them planned deviations. So just be aware that from here on out, they will no longer be called cheat meals, they will be called planned deviations. It's for your benefit that I call them that. Trust me. Go watch the video to find out why. So you're wondering, how often can you deviate from your protocol and still maintain your results? There are a couple things to consider before really having a quality answer, and of course it's going to be person to person. I know that's not what you want to hear, so I'm going to give you a general guideline in this video, but it's something that I think is super important that you need to ask yourself, not only when it comes to planned deviations, but also how strict or how lax you can be in your day-to-day when it comes to being on a fitness or weight loss journey, is acknowledging and asking yourself whether or not you are an abstainer or a moderator. Two different things. I did a whole video on this concept. It's my abstainer or moderator video, but I'll give you a little sort of bullet point synopsis of it. People fall into one of two categories. They're either abstainers, which means they know and acknowledge within themselves that they are the type of person who needs to go cold turkey on most things. Otherwise, they turn into a Pringle. Once you pop, you just can't stop. Okay? So those people just completely avoid going outside of their protocol. For example, most of my clients live a ketogenic lifestyle because I do. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, I have maintained an 80-pound weight loss over 10 years living ketogenically, but I have a whole video about my up and down weight loss journey. You can check that out if you want a little bit more point of reference about me and where I'm coming from when I make these videos. So for example, my keto clients, they cannot eat high sugar, high carb foods because they do much better in the long term just avoiding them altogether. They actually find that they don't get a lot out of having those sort of deviated meals. They rather just stick to it, and life is actually a lot easier and simpler for them when they do that. Those are abstainers. Then there are moderators who actually are fueled by every once in a while having the peace of mind and knowledge of getting a taste of something, one meal here and there, cheat meal wise, and that gives them just enough juice to keep going on their journey and being really compliant the rest of the time. Most people think that they're moderators, but 95% of people are abstainers. I hate to break it to you, it's true. But again, I go into this a lot more in that video. However, I think figuring out whether or not you're a moderator or an abstainer will have a lot to do with how often you can actually plan a planned deviation, cheat meal. Once you figure that out, then you can really be more in tune with the frequency, because obviously it's not to say that just because you're an abstainer you can't still do it. It just means you might want to have that planned deviation a lot less often. Another important thing to know about frequency is whenever you do decide to have a treat meal plan deviation, it's really important to make sure that you are making it a meal. It's not called a cheat day, it's called a cheat meal. That's what it is. That's just the way it is. You're doing yourself a huge disservice by making the entire day something different than what you would normally do. Think about it. 24 hours is a lot longer to create some habits and change mindset than maybe 2 hours in a meal at a restaurant. Not a lot's gonna happen there. It's an isolated incident. It's outside of your home. It's foreign. That way, when you're in your home, you are still creating and reinforcing those habits that you've built within your own home. That is so much easier mentally in the long run, which is why I promote the idea of the meal versus the day. The day is really tricky, and even if you have all of your meals all day out of your house, it's still setting up a mentality of this is my life now as opposed to this is my one planned meal. Make sense? You will be surprised how much your mentality and the things and the habits that you do on the day-to-day will compound over time and change your mindset. Doing it as a meal and making the rest of your day what you would normally do, whatever kind of fitness journey you are on, this will make a huge difference in the long run in terms of how you not only view food, but just in reinforcing those habits that you've already worked so hard to establish. You won't be undoing as much by doing that. Trust me. Are there exceptions to this? Of course. When I go to Disneyland, guess what? I'm not keto for, 2 out of 3 meals. I'm gonna just be living my best life, okay? But that's not every day, so don't come at me. There are 2 important things to take into account when deciding how often to have that cheat meal. One is, what are your actual goals at the moment? And the other is, are you a moderator or are you an abstainer? So we talked about moderator versus abstainer. I gave you some advice about day versus meal. And now let's talk about, very practically, well, what are your goals? If your goals are just to maintain a weight loss and you tend to live an extremely healthy, fit lifestyle, then having a meal outside of that protocol, a planned deviation, isn't going to be as big of a deal because you're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to achieve a change. So obviously, in a maintenance phase, you can have planned deviations a lot more frequently and pretty much stay the same size. Versus if your goal is to continue to lose weight, obviously you're going to want to make planned deviations a lot less frequent. When you're trying to lose weight, get fit, get shredded, you're going to have to put in more effort because you're trying to make a change. It's going to take a lot less effort to stand still than it is to take a step or 2 forward. Yes? Sounds like it's common sense, but so many people in the weight loss and fitness space are constantly coming into my DMs and saying, when can I have a cheat meal? When can I go off my protocol? When can I get out of this? Which means that maybe you're not ready to actually embark on a fitness journey because you are not at a place where you are willing to make some significant changes in order to achieve that result. So, in my opinion, once you are at where you would like to be, you can have a planned deviation, treat meal, cheat meal every 2 weeks. Maybe you're the kind of person, because we're all bio-individual, that you can pull up every once a week. Maybe your planned deviations aren't that crazy, so you can get away with having 1 a week. Now, trust me, there is a very slippery slope if you're trying to actually achieve a fitness change in the whole idea of,
I'm going to be good 5 days out of the week, and I'm going to do what I want on the weekend.
And I get it. You think that it's only 2 days and 5 days should definitely outweigh that, but I got news for you. I go into why that absolutely doesn't work and why that's actually going to not only derail you if you're trying to make any sort of weight loss progress or fitness progress, but it actually might result in weight gain over time, albeit very slowly. You don't want to be killing yourself 5 days out of the week just to have it be for nothing. Trust me. I have a whole free masterclass that goes into this down below. It is how to end the cycle of yo-yo dieting for good. It's totally free. And again, I go into a lot more detail in that masterclass, but don't sell yourself short and go by that mentality, because that is not the move. However, I feel like if you are trying to achieve a change, weight loss, get leaner, get some muscle put on, you're trying to achieve some sort of fitness goal and you're in that phase right now, I think that every 4 weeks should be fine. I think that's enough time to not only be super compliant on whatever it is that you're trying to do, but also to feel like you have something to look forward to and it's not going to massively derail your progress. I think that's a very safe amount of time. I think anything more frequent than that when you're trying to achieve a physical aesthetic change is playing with fire. Again, it is person to person. My clients in my Diet Destroyer program have planned deviations every 4 weeks should they want them. But that is my blanket advice for now as somebody who I have no idea who you are watching this. So before embarking on implementing cheat meals into your fitness routine, ask yourself, are you an abstainer or a moderator? What exactly are your goals right now? And make sure that you are not making them cheat days and just make them cheat meals. Again, if you haven't watched my video all about how that word in and of itself gives me the heebie-jeebies and is super problematic when it comes to your long-term fitness goals, go ahead and watch that one. Otherwise, make sure you're subscribed if this video is helpful for you, because I do have another video coming up on my channel on how to actually do and implement cheat days when it comes time to actually do it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them down below in the comments, or feel free to DM me on Instagram at Samantha Souza Official, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much, guys. See you later.